Private Lender Podcast, episode 111.
The Private Lender Podcast quote of the day comes to us from Cicero, who said, "Frugality includes all of the other virtues."
This is the Private Lender Podcast, the show that shares practical advice and know-how for new and seasoned lenders, from private mortgages on single-family houses to joint ventures on commercial projects and beyond. Discover details about investment vehicles that you won't find at your local bank or online broker. Listen and learn from private lenders and real estate investors, as well as from professionals and entrepreneurs, as they share the details, strategies, and the insight that allows for successful and prosperous lending. Now, get ready to increase your ROI. Here's your host, Keith Baker.
What's up, Lender Nation? Greetings from the energy capital of the world and the major American city that just dodged a bullet, Houston, Texas, and welcome to episode 111 of the Private Lender Podcast. I'm your host, Keith Baker, and I'd like to thank you for sharing your time with me today. I mean that. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening. So thank you. If you're looking for practical tips and advice on becoming a private lender and how to build and maintain wealth without banks or Wall Street, then you are in the right place. But if you want to learn from my mistakes so that you can avoid them, well, then pull up a chair and pour yourself a drink, my friend, because the Private Lender Podcast is dedicated to giving people just like you and me the knowledge and confidence to participate in the most passive form of real estate investing known to man, and that is private lending. And if you're looking for the easy button for private lending, then head over to privatelenderpodcast.com/Inc, I-N-K, to learn more about how you can put your money to work for you by investing in private and hard money loans in and around the Houston area. And in case you haven't heard me say it before, Texas is a very lender-friendly state with a short foreclosure period, hence the reason I like lending here so much. So if you want to learn more, go to privatelenderpodcast.com/Inc, I-N-K. That's privatelenderpodcast.com/Inc. Today, I'm excited to share with you and to make public for the first time a list. Yay, a list. But it's a list of core values that I believe are necessary for private lenders to stay safe. And it's a guide to when there's questions. It's a guide for a private lender to come back and say, okay, where's my base? Where's my foundation? And this came about through some business coaching that I'm doing right now. Very interesting times, and I find myself in a personal level, career-wise and everything else, just life and COVID. So been experimenting, testing some new waters, trying some different things out, and finding new ways to level up. So part of this is I've joined some coaching gurus and whatnot. And the interesting thing is that it really doesn't start with business. A lot of it, the reason I chose this particular group is because it goes, really you work on yourself first, and then that will lead to the opportunity, and the opportunity will lead to the money. So it's definitely not a get rich quick thing by any stretch of the imagination. But one of the coaches in the program really focuses on identifying core values, so that when you have, let's say, for example, in a business, if you have, for example, a trouble or a problem employee, by knowing your core values and having everyone in your company know your core values, then it's not a tough decision to make, as long as you stick, to make a decision that reflects your core values. Or the same thing with a problematic customer. And that got me thinking back a few episodes back to, I believe it was episode 94, where I talk about the four key traits of a private lender. And that came about from a coaching call I was doing with Steve H over, let's just say he's an Eagles fan, and I don't hold that against him. So that's me being really magnanimous. No, great guy. I owe him like about 1,000 emails. I'm unfortunately that person that tells you to reach out, and it takes me forever to respond. But it hitting that chord, when I'm learning this stuff, and it went back to that conversation when Steve asked me the key traits, and so this all comes into this core value thing. And believe me, this is such like a corporate. It sounds like such a corporate thing that it's really not something that I bought into wholeheartedly at first. But having seen the results and having listening to other folks who have instituted similar thinking, missions, and actions in their businesses and their and lives, and hearing them firsthand talk about what a difference it's made. I said, well, okay, yeah, that's. I think listener Steve H was onto something there. Thank you again. And so now I've created this list of 7 core values that I think all private lenders should have, and let's go ahead and go get right on into them. It's nothing really huge, but it's I don't know. It's just weird. Like I said, I feel like a corporate trainer right now, and I'm just waiting for someone like me just to start being a smartass in the back of the room. So, anyhow, these I'm going to number them, but they're really not in any particular order. But the first core value for a private lender is ROI, return of investment. That's the safety and security of the note, the property, the people involved. All of that. You want to make sure all that return of your investment comes back. Your time investment, your money investment. That is the core value. The first core value is return of the investment. Then the next one is, number 2, is the return on the investment, ROI. Hashtag. Next to it, I have profit. Because if profit isn't a core value of a lender, then why are you lending? And I'll just leave it at that. The third is integrity. And I have a description here of a contract and bond. And when I was raised, a man's word was his contract. It was his bond. And that's how I was to be raised. If I tell you I'm going to do something, damn it, I'm going to do it, unless it's emailing you guys back on a timely basis. But I digress. Core value number 4 is discipline. The discipline to say no. The discipline to know when you are being pulled into an area that makes you uncomfortable, or when your hackles rise because something may or may not be right with the deal. Be disciplined. Say no. It's one of the greatest words in the in any language is no, and it will help keep you safe more times than not with private lending. That was number 4, right? Or did I say 5? I don't remember. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, number 5 is creative initiative. Now, I've kind of conjoined these two here. You need to be creative, right? So you need to find ways to make things work, right? Maybe that's cross-collateralizing different properties in order to provide the funds needed to work on a property that doesn't fit your particular lending criteria. But if something goes bad, you can execute a foreclosure or on your lien on a property that does fit. Let's say, for example, is you only do 3-bedroom, 2-bath brick houses. Well, put a lien on that house on a 3-2 brick, and then let the investor go do whatever. And as long as you're paid back on time, fine. But if not, now you have a lien on a property that fits your lending criteria. Just an example of discipline there. And it's something I know it's very rich coming out of my mouth for y'all to hear me talk about discipline, because it's something I've not had and struggled with all my life, basically. So just because I come up with these core values doesn't mean I'm always 100% on them. So you guys feel free to reach out and call me out when I'm not demonstrating them. But the creative initiative, be creative, but also take initiative. That's the two. You just can't sit back and do nothing. When people don't know what to do, they just tend to sort of paralyze. And I'm certainly no different than that. So that's why I say creative initiative. Have the bandwidth of the mind to think of different things, but also have the gumption to go execute those things, to go do them, and to make deals happen and make loans happen. Safe and secure. Remember, return of investment, but nonetheless, creative initiative. All right, core value number 6, take responsibility for everything. Everything. You make a loan that doesn't get paid back. Don't take it personal. Don't take it out on the borrower. Honor the contract. Right? Keep your integrity, but take responsibility for everything. My friend that ripped me off, not a friend anymore, obviously, but can't take it personal. And I've learned a hell of a lesson. I take responsibility for that. I have to. I'm the one that decided to make the loan. So at the end of the day, it's up to me. So take responsibility for everything. And the 7th and final core value that I've come up with, ALM, always learn more. Don't ever stop learning. Learn cooking, learn car repair, learn something. Exercise the mind. The brain is a muscle. It needs to be exercised. Always learn more. Expand your network, learn more people, learn more things, more investment vehicles, whatever. But always, always, always learn more. Don't ever stop learning. So those are the 7 core values. Return of investment, safety and security. Return on investment, profit. Integrity, the contract and bond. Discipline, creative initiative. Take responsibility for everything. And always learn more. And of course, head over to the show notes page. This is episode 111 to get these core values. I'm gonna try to have a download or something, or at least they'll be online, so you can see them, copy and paste them, or whatever. But I'm hoping I'm a little behind schedule on things, so I'm hoping I can get everything up and running by the time you hear this. If not, please bear with me. It will be up shortly. And as you guys know, I don't charge money to produce this show, but I would be extremely grateful if you would help me get the word out and increase awareness for the show by leaving me an honest rating and review over at iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or whatever platform you're using to hear my voice. This is a small and quick request that will pay us both dividends, and I honestly believe that. It's a small price to pay for what I just gave you, right? Those, whenever you're in trouble, these are your core values. You have a question about something, you come back, put your hand on the core values, okay? And that's going to help guide you. If you're religious, think of it as the Torah, the Quran, the Bible. I always mess it up, but I'm just going to say the truncated, the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Hindus, I slaughtered that one. But nonetheless, this is your touchstone. These core values are your touchstone. And get them out there. Send them out there. Send them out to other people. You know, they don't have to be just for private lenders. You know, other real estate investors as well. But yeah, please get the word out there. If you're trying to cultivate your own stable of private lenders, please tell them about the show. It's a free resource. They'll remember you for it, hopefully, in a positive way. And if you're having a little trouble getting started, or if you want to hit the easy button on your private lender career, head over to privatelenderpodcast.com/Inc. INK to learn more about how you can begin private lending in the Houston area with some friends of the show. All right, that's going to do it for episode 111. I do want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for your time and wish everyone safe and successful private lending. I'll catch you on the next episode. Y'all stay safe out there.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Private Lender Podcast with your host, Heath Baker. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit privatelenderpodcast.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate and review, and we'll catch you next time.